Great song, isn't it? Jefferson Airplane, 3/5 of a mile in 10 seconds. A song about commercialism, advertising, and all of that. The Beatles' I Me Mine, George Harrison's Living in the Material World, and Police with Spirits in the Material World. And congratulations to Leonard Sanchez from Boyle Heights. Leonard, my brother, you going to go see the Police and Elvis Costello because you have the good taste, the grace, and the luck to be listening to 95.5 KLOS. Good for you, man. And thank you for being a part of the tribe, Leonard. Everybody out there who listens to this show, you are a part of a tribe of people who have chosen freeform rock and roll radio over the lowest common denominator. This is not a show for stupid people. This is not background music. This is not a show where we use research and market-driven techniques to try to figure out how to get inside the mass psyche of as many people as we can. No, this is you and me talking. That's the difference. This is you and me. And we speak not only through words, but we speak through this extraordinary music. For our vocabulary is long and wide and deep. Our vocabulary is rock and roll music. And in my definition, that can be anything from AC/DC to ZZ Top. It can be anything from Aerosmith to Johnny Cash. It could be the Beatles to Judy Collins. It could be Stone Temple Pilots to Joni Mitchell. Anything. You get it? It's about a lack of restrictions. It's about a lack of fences, a lack of trying to rein us in and pigeonhole us. Now, that doesn't mean that freeform radio is free of structure. Quite the contrary. And a lot of people don't get this. They hear freeform radio and they think, oh, it's just like a mishmash of anything Jim wants to throw on. Well, it is anything that I want to play. But for those of you tribal members who get what's going on here, you know that this show is more structured than any other show on the air. A format is random. What you're normally hearing on radio is taking the research, putting it into a computer, and it vomits up a list of songs. It spits out a random list of tunes without any rhyme or reason. That is the antithesis of what we're doing here. Every song that I choose to play for you, I make about 100 decisions about that song. First, what does the song say? Will it advance the particular point that I'm trying to make? How does it begin? How does it end? What is the tempo? What lyrical connection is going to drive the storyline of the particular set that we're talking about? We're talking about commercialism and living in the material world in that last set of songs. And now we're talking about freedom. And we're talking about the most precious thing to me that is embodied in a document called the First Amendment, the Constitution of the United States. It is one of the most perfect pieces of paper ever created by mankind. The Constitution of the United States is a brilliant document written by brilliant people who really thought this through. And they thought about the future, and although they couldn't envision things like FM radio or iPods or big screen TVs or maybe even cars or airplanes or whatever, they knew about human beings. They knew about humanity. They knew that people yearn to be free and to be happy. Can you imagine the pursuit of happiness in the Constitution of a country? They cared about not only that people could make a living, people could survive, that the country would be protected. They wanted us to be happy. Now, that's an unbelievable thing, isn't it? To think about that. It almost sounds new agey. It almost sounds like one of those touchy-feely self-help books. But we're talking about Franklin and Washington and Jefferson and Adams. We're talking about the founding fathers of our country who wanted us to be happy as human beings. And you have to be free to be happy. And that is why I am so delighted to come on this radio show 5 nights a week, knowing that when I walk in that door, this studio, I am not facing a list. No one is telling me what to play. In fact, quite the opposite. I am being encouraged to push the envelope. Go in and do a good show, Jim, is what Rita tells me. Rita doesn't tell me, now watch it, make sure you don't do this or do that or do the other thing. That's not how she sends me to work. Have a great show, Jim. Go kick ass, Jim. That's the way it should be. It's the pursuit of happiness, and I get to do that in public 5 nights a week, 5 hours a night at a place called KLOS. Wouldn't it be cool if the rest of the world could say that? I'm Jim Ladd, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is 95.5 KLOS and KLOS HD1 Los Angeles.